Perfect. Well, I know some other people might come in a little bit, but we're going to get going. So my name's Tom. I'm the Adventure Academy lead, and I love to get outdoors and do stuff. So for the past 5 weeks, we've been working on our bikes. I don't know if you guys came for any of those sessions, but after I worked on the bike for the past 5 weeks, I decided it'd be a good idea to go out and actually use it on an adventure. So I went on a whole bike packing adventure. We went and climbed a mountain, we went down to a lake, and there's a video we're going to watch here at the very end. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about bike packing. Do you guys know what bike packing is? Do you know what backpacking is? Right? Well, a backpacking, when someone goes backpacking, they put everything they need into a backpack like this. They put it on their back, and they go for a really long walk. So, like, how long is a long walk to you guys? The long walk, like, it's like an hour.
If you're trying to walk somewhere, it probably is like, I remember we went to a walk in Texas. It felt like an hour or two.
Right? So in an hour, you can usually walk about 3 miles. Meh, that's a lot. Maybe 2 miles. 3 miles, you'd be moving really fast. So with backpacking, usually you're walking, and the most you can cover in a day is probably about 20 miles. So you'd be walking for probably about 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours. And that's moving at 3 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. So with bike packing, you're riding a bike, and bikes are way faster. So you can get on your bike. You don't have to carry all of it on your back because you can put it in your bike and you can get going. So I'm going to talk to you guys just a little bit about what kind of things you need to go bike packing. And actually, a backpack is really handy to go bike packing because you can put a lot of your light things in here. Have you guys been camping before?
Yeah.
What kind of things do you need to go camping?
We usually take tents and probably like something on your phone, like horns, just in case bears come.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep, just in case for bears. It's awesome that you're thinking about that. So I have my tent right here. And this is definitely something that you need to bring. This is a nice, tight little tent. It can sleep 2 people, so you and your buddy can go. It's awesome. I would definitely recommend bringing a tent. Why else would you want a tent? Can you think of any good reasons?
So instead of just sleeping outside in the cold, you just sleep somewhere where it's safe.
Exactly. It's a little bit safer. It feels safer, at least. It's warmer. And what about bugs? Keeps the bugs off of you. Have you guys ever woken up with a big spider on your face?
Well, my sister, mosquitoes always have to get her.
Yeah, mosquitoes, all those kind of things. Flies. Tents are awesome. What else do you need? What does this look like to you? I know it's all shiny. This is kind of a special one.
It's a sleeping bag.
Yeah, it's a sleeping pad, actually. This is a pad for sleeping. So the way I use my sleeping pads, I live in a really cold place. It is almost always cold in the mountains where I live. So I use 2 pads. I use an inflatable pad here that you can see on the inside. It's blue. And I blow that one up. And then I sleep on top of a foam pad. And then the outside of this foam pad is really shiny. Does anyone know what that shiny material does?
It keeps heat.
Keeps you warm?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a space blanket. Have you guys ever played with a space blanket before?
No.
They're really cool. They're crazy. They're super, super thin. And you can put it on around you when it's cold outside and it'll keep you warm. But then if you go to a really hot place and you put a space blanket on, it'll keep you cold. So the space blanket reflects heat. So it reflects the sunlight away, but it also reflects your body heat back to you. So for a cold place, this is a really awesome thing. What do you need to really sleep, though?
Sleeping bag.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I have my sleeping bag in this big sack like this?
So it doesn't roll, so it isn't so big.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I keep it in this to actually keep it fluffy. So this sleeping bag, you see how fluffy it is? What do you think this sleeping bag is made out of?
Downy feathers?
Yeah, it's made out of feathers. They call it down. So the down is the really light, fluffy stuff that's on like birds, I guess. They're undercoat of the birds. So they harvest the down and they use it to make things like this, like sleeping bags. There's a lot of different kind of down, though. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty, but in general, down is rated by numbers. So if you have a higher number of down, that typically means it's a lot fluffier, versus a lower number of down means it's a little bit more dense. They're good for different things. It doesn't really matter, but just wanted to show you that. In my sleeping bag, though, how am I going to get this sleeping bag inside of my pack? My sleeping bag is bigger than my pack. How do I
You just carry it separately.
I do it what?
Carry it separately?
I could, but this thing is so fluffy that I can actually pack it down till it turns into this tiny little ball, and I have a compression sack that'll do that. So I can fit this tiny thing and make it about this big, and then I can throw it in my backpack. So they make things for sleeping bags that allow it to compress. That's one of the great things about down, is it's super compressible. Let's see, someone mentioned bears. Bears are out there. They're really not that dangerous. Bears typically don't want to eat you, they want to eat your food. So if you're out camping and you have all of your camping stuff laid out and all of your food in your campsite, the bear might come and give you a visit during the middle of the night. So I have some of this stuff. Does anyone know what this is?
Probably like a horn that goes beep.
Right? Yeah, it does look like a horn. It looks like an air horn, but it's actually, yeah, it's pepper spray. It's a big thing of pepper spray. This is a bear size. They make little ones for like if you get robbed. They make these for bears. They're huge. But these only work when you're about 40 feet away from the bear. So I'd have to be from me to my garage door to hit that bear. So I'd be looking the bear right in the eyes. It's kind of scary. It's a really good thing to have. Why do you think you'd want one of these?
Are you gonna pay attention? If not, go. No. If you're paying attention, you'll leave that alone.
So
Are you gonna pay attention?
Yeah, I have. Can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, just mute yourself, please. Why would you want to have bear spray when you're on a bike?
Probably because like, so if a bear tries to chase you, you probably want to play dead or use the pepper spray.
That's a great point. Now think about riding a bike. Riding bikes it's kind of quiet, right? If you don't pedal, it's sort of silent. You can hear everything around you while you're just sitting there on your bike. So if you're riding a bike and you're moving really fast, because you're moving a lot faster than you would be if you were on foot.
If you're like in a bike, you'll move like 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's super fast, but you totally could. So if you're going 40 miles per hour and you startle a bear, it's going to be like, holy cow, where did this person come from? And it's going to freak out and it might attack you. So a lot of times, mountain bikers are very, very susceptible to getting attacked by bears and by mountain lions. Just because you're moving quickly, it's a response for the bear and the mountain lion to think that you are under stress, like prey. A deer would run away if it's afraid, right? So you effectively look like a really scared deer. So the bear or the mountain lion is going to want to maybe chase you. So good idea to have. Most of the time, the animals just get spooked and they run away. But still, it's good backup. It's cheap insurance.
Yeah, but also, if you're getting chased by a bear and you're on a bike, you would move a lot more faster because if you're in a bike, you'll go 40 miles per hour. But a bear, but the bear will slow down first. You know why?
Why?
Because us humans can only run like 13, and bears can run 35. So you would probably escape the bear before you're tired.
You sure would hope so, right? But just in case, just as a safety measure, it's probably a good idea to have some bear spray, just in case. Because what if you are there drinking some water and all of a sudden the bear comes on you? Then you got some issue. But what about water when you're camping? How do you get water while you're camping? Any ideas?
Well, probably you might want to take like a few stacks of water, like about a few stacks of water, or keep it like in a large bottle.
Water bottle or something. Here it is. I was like, where did my water bottle go? So this water bottle would probably only last me, well, I don't know, if I'm really thirsty, probably only about 30 minutes, right? So I need to carry a ton of water. And I typically carry, regardless of what hike I'm going on, 2 liters. That's at the minimum. So say I'm going camping somewhere and I stay up there all night, I drink all my water, then what? How do I get water?
Yeah. Also, you won't get if you're like in a camp that doesn't have drinking fountains. Okay, so that's technically a problem. So I would recommend like sometimes get like a big bag and put like about like about a few. Okay, I would say like stacks of water. So if it's like a week, you can still have water left.
That's a great point. Yeah, bring a lot of water with you. And one of the cool things about riding your bike is you can put a ton of that water on your bike. So you don't even have to carry it. The bike carries it for you. Pretty cool. Have you guys ever seen one of these?
No.
What do you think this is?
I don't know.
Right? This is a water filter. So I can put this thing in a creek. I can even put it in a muddy puddle. And I can pump this thing, and out the bottom here, I'll get fresh, clean water. So if I'm in the mountains and I know that there's going to be a creek or maybe even a lake, I can put this in the lake and I can filter that lake water out. And that lake water, I can put right in my water bottle and drink it right away. It's pretty amazing. What's inside of this that makes that happen is a ceramic filter. So inside this cartridge, this mechanism right here, you can see, let me turn it around. You can see that, that's the pump. So that's what pumps the water through, and it forces that water, see if I can get this thing out, through this. And this is the ceramic filter that filters all of your water. So you gotta have something like this if you're going for an extended camping trip. And it's a lot lighter to carry this than it is to carry much water. So this thing could filter hundreds of gallons of water, whereas hundreds of gallons of water would weigh like 800 pounds, and I wouldn't be able to ride my bike. So now there's one other thing that you really need to have when you're going camping because the sun's gonna set and it's gonna get dark. What do you think that is?
Probably like a flashlight.
A flashlight, yes, exactly. Now they make flashlights for humans and they attach to your head. What are those called? You see one of these before? It's a headlamp. It's a headlamp just like your car has headlights, right? So this is essentially my headlight. But now my bike, if I'm riding a bike in the dark, my bike needs a headlight too, right? So between my headlamp and my bike light, I can see super well. So these are another essential thing that you need to bring with you camping and another thing when you're going bike packing. One other thing on top of safety gear, you really need to bring a helmet at the minimum. Sometimes people don't think helmets are that cool, but it doesn't really matter because if you're out there in the woods, you fall off your bike and you get a head injury, you might be hours away from any sort of help. Yeah, did you have something to say, Cassidy?
So the water filters, where did you get those?
You can buy water filters at a lot of different camping stores, actually. You can get them online too. So REI is a really good resource. It's Recreational Equipment Incorporated. They have a whole series of filters. This one here, I believe this will cost you about $90. So it's not that expensive. But they make a whole bunch of different types of filters too. Different filters might be gravity fed, where you'll have a big bag up above and it'll filter all of the water down through a sort of filter like this. They have UV filters that use a UV light to sterilize the water. Tons of different options. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, maybe you can take one of my adventure classes and I can teach you more. It'd be really cool.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. So yeah, last note, guys, just don't forget, a helmet is necessary. You can get elbow pads and knee pads and all these kind of things if you are trying to bike really, really aggressively. But for most folks, a helmet's all you need. So that's the gist of kind of what you need to go out bike packing, right? I didn't really cover cooking things because it just depends on what you want to eat. Sometimes you can snack the whole time, whereas other times
Can't you get those like emergency like 1 week supply food things? I forgot what they're called.
Exactly, you could eat those. Myself, I really, really like to eat eggs in the morning. So I almost always bring eggs camping. And a lot of people are like, that's crazy. Why would you bring eggs with you? And I'm like, I don't know. It just sounds good. So it totally depends. Like when you're out camping, cooking is something that you can kind of decide for yourself. So I didn't really cover it here, but these are the essentials, right? We have water, we have light, we have a safe place to sleep, we have a helmet to stay safe. And one other thing actually that I didn't mention for our bike, are these. Has anyone ever seen these? They go on either side of the back of your bike like that. They're called saddlebags or panniers, right? So you see people around the city, if they're going like riding their bike to work, they have these. And
How would you put that though?
It goes right on the very back of my bike. You'll see it when we watch the video. It'll make a little more sense. So inside these panniers, this is how I carry a lot of my weight, all my heavy stuff. So inside here, I have a whole bunch of different stuff. In particular, a whole bag of things that I need to fix my bike when I'm on the trail. I have a minimum of 2 tubes. So that's to say I could pop both my front and my back tube and still make it out of there. Also, you'll notice the tubes have certain numbers on them, and I made a video about how to change your bike tube. So if you guys want to go back and watch one of those, you'd be able to figure out how to change your tube. I also have a chain. I bring a chain that's the right speed for my bike so I can actually go out and fix my chain if something happens. I have a multi-tool in here. This multi-tool allows me to do other kind of random maintenance on my bike. If something gets loose or I drop something, need to tighten it up, this is perfect. It has a whole bunch of different tools on it. This tool in specific is the Crank Brothers M17. They make some really awesome products. I have a tire lever, so I can pull my tire off and put the tubes back on. It's really hard if you don't have this sometimes. And I have these. Does anybody know what these are?
Compressed air.
Yeah. Do you guys play paintball?
No, but I know what it is, and paintball I know uses it in paintball guns. They're like these
exactly.
tanks in the back.
Yeah, good job. This is compressed air. Now, what kind of air is in here?
CO2.
Exactly. Now, what kind of air do you and I breathe?
Oxygen?
Right. So actually, the majority of the atmosphere is nitrogen. It's nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, a whole mix of this stuff. This is carbon dioxide. So if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of it and we start looking at like what the chemistry is, the air molecules in this are a lot smaller than the air molecules you and I breathe. So this is a temporary fix for your bike, but it's enough to get you out. So these are great. You can attach one of these and you can fill one of your bike tires back up. So that, guys, is the majority of really what you need to go bike packing. Now here in this, in the chat, there's a link. And that link will take you to a video. Can everyone click on that link? It is at the very top of there. Hey guys, this is the last bike maintenance webinar. We're actually not doing any bike maintenance on this. We're going on an adventure. I'm up here in the Rocky Mountains with my bike. We've tuned this up over the past 5 weeks, and now we're gonna go use it. I have my whole pack set for a little adventure. We're gonna be going down to a lake, climbing a peak, and seeing what we run into on this wild ride. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, we made it a little ways down the road, and I had to stop. These flowers are way too good. We're in a little forest fire right now, and they opened up the forest to make room for new things to grow. Forest fires can be super destructive, but they also can be really pretty after a few years. Alrighty guys, we're halfway down the road, and we stopped at this beautiful little spring to load up on any extra water we might need. I wanted to take an opportunity to talk to you guys about how to pack your bike when you're bike packing. I put most of my weight, like water, in my panniers, which are these bags that are on my bike rack. One of the beauties of bike packing is that you can carry a lot of extra weight because your bike will carry it for you. I pack my panniers with the heavy things, like the water, my drinks, any sort of thing that might be bulky, like cooking things. Then again, I make sure that they're equally distributed between my bags. I can strap things on top that are bulky like my tent, my sleeping pad, and I can also use that space for a solar panel to charge my camera equipment. I save all the light things for my backpack because I don't want those things tugging on my shoulders. Things like clothes, sleeping bags, and sensitive things like electronics. We're gonna get a little bit of water and head down the road now. Hey, check it out, guys. We finally made it to the trailhead. We've been riding our bikes for the past 7 or 8 miles on a Forest Service trail. Now that we finally made it here, we're gonna ditch our bikes and repack a lot of this stuff. Something I want to mention though is before you leave on your bikepacking trip, make sure that you can actually take your bike where you're planning on going. Most Forest Service roads are totally fine, but when you get to a trail, they'll have different restrictions. Some trails might only allow hikers, while others might allow horses and bikes. We're not going to take our bikes down here just for the ease of it, so we're going to chain them up and get going. Hey guys, we finally found a great campsite right on the edge of the lake. There's already a fire pit made and a really awesome tent site just a little bit away. I'm ready for some snacks. I am super hungry. We just biked for several miles and then just hiked down that ridge. I've got some high energy snacks. Tons of jerky, some crackers, cheese. Not to mention a whole bunch of water that I need to drink. It's important that you have some high energy snacks that are high in protein, fat, and carbohydrates. This is going to keep you moving. I'm going to take a break, rest up, and then I'll get a camp set up. Good morning, guys. I had a beautiful night last night. All the stars were out and we could see a little crescent moon setting. I woke up this morning to a perfect sunrise and had a really nice breakfast. I brought my fishing pole too. It's one of the luxuries of bikepacking. You have extra space for these kind of things. I've seen a ton of fish servicing out here, so I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see what we can catch. Here we go. Check it out. What we got here? Slippery little bugger. I'm just using a spoon here. Oh, there he is. You want to be really gentle when you're dealing with trout. I can tell it's a trout, particularly because it has an adipose fin on the back. A lot of the fish in our lakes here, whoop, he's getting away. A lot of the fish in the lakes where I am are cutthroats, and you can see right on his throat there, he has a little bit of red. He's a cute little guy, but he's not worth keeping, so he's going right back. Alrighty, well, we made it to the top of the hill, It was a bit of a journey. That was a really muddy trail. My feet are a little wet, but not too worse for the wear. I just unlocked my bike, which was chained up to a tree over there, so no one would mess with it. There's not really anyone out here, but just for safety's sake. I got all my stuff packed back onto my bike pack. I'm gonna head over there and put my backpack on. Then we're gonna head down the road and see if we can't go find Ward Peak. There's a trailhead up there a little ways. Let's see what we see. This is a hemlock tree. Now, it's kind of crazy that there's a hemlock growing here. We were probably close to 7,000 feet up on this ridge, and it's south facing. And these hemlock trees really, really like moist areas. Sort of unusual, but it kind of gives you an idea that maybe in winter, this place gets a lot of snow. These trees like that moisture, and it's got to come from somewhere. Just about crested the ridge. See what it looks like. Wow, so cool. The lake down there. Right to the peak. We're gonna head up there next. Gorgeous. Check it out. There's pink snow up here. It's actually more common than you might think. This pink in the snow is kind of algae. You really should not eat this snow. It will make you sick. Look down off the edge here. There's that little lake again. We're going to go right up and over this rock and see what's on the other side. Cool, guys. Well, does anyone have any questions for me after watching that? I can unmute you guys too so you can talk.